What is going on, everyone? My name is Tim Williams. We're here to break down today's 8-game MLB slate over on DraftKings. It is Sunday, September 26th. Yes, I know there's football going on, but yeah, it's still baseball season. We're going to grind it out to the very end. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What's going on? My name's Tim. And like we always do, we're going to break them down one by one each game here. We're going to talk hitting. We're going to talk pitching, player salaries, stacks. I think there's some good spots on this 8-game slate. So stick around to the end. I don't want you to miss out on a lot of good information here. Make sure you hit that like button. Please, it helps me out a ton. Subscribe to the channel. I know there's about 80-something% of you that aren't subscribed. So do me a favor. Don't miss out on any future content. We got plenty of sports coming up to break down and stuff after baseball. So yeah, let's just get started here. Pirates taking on the Phillies. Kranick taking on Medina. Kranick 5.9K, 16% strikeout rate here, 8.4% walk rate, 44% fly ball rate, right? Just not somebody I'm going to look to in DFS, especially on an 8-game slate. There's decent options. 216 ISO against right-handed batters, struggling a little bit more against the lefties as of late. Medina on the other side, 5.7K. I don't think he's really stretched out, so don't really love him in the spot. 11.5 strikeout percentage, 11.5 walk rate. Super small sample size, of course, but he gives up a lot of contact. Limits power, but really not someone. I'm not going to get to the Pirates bats. Let's be honest here. Sasugo at 3.4K, 184 ISO against right-handed pitching. You know, I think it's a fine option, but with 8 games on the slate, there's some massive totals here. So pass on the Pirates. On the Philly side, Harper, I think he's most definitely in play, 6.1K. Remember, we said Kranick is struggling against lefties lately. So I look to him. I look to Miller at 4K. Both of their raw ISO numbers really stick out against righties this season. Real Muto, I think he's in the mix. I don't know if he's actually going to play this game. 5.6K seems a little egregious. That's a pretty high price tag for him. So I like Miller. I like Harper, I guess, but probably overall just going to fade this game, quite honestly. Next, we have the Rangers and the Orioles. Dunning and Allard taking on Means. Dunning, 6.9K, Allard, 6K. Yeah, we're not going to get there. These guys are sharing duties. On the other side with Means at 8.2K, I don't really love the price on him. He's kind of come back down to earth as far as, after he came back from that injury. 22.6% strikeout rate, 46% fly ball rate. Normally, I don't really like to take too many fly ball pitchers unless they have a massive strikeout ceiling. But Means is in a decent spot here today, and we'll get into that. Giving up a 212 ISO, 2 right-handed batters. However, the Rangers are just really, really bad against left-handed pitching. They're one of the worst teams against left-handed pitchers, 30th in OPS on the season. They just really struggle here. Means is actually in a decent spot. I don't think we're going to see those ceiling games from him like we did in the beginning of the season, but I think he's a fine play. Hayes, Mancini, Mountcastle are interesting to me. Dunning isn't really somebody I want to attack. So if he goes 5 innings, I don't want to have any Orioles here. Allard is somebody I would want to attack with those 3 guys, but I'm not just going to sit here and wait and hope that Allard, pitches 4 innings. It's probably not going to happen. I am most likely going to fade this game outside of maybe Means possibly. Next, we have the Nationals taking on the Reds. Rogers taking on Molly. Rogers 8.5K. Tougher matchup. 16.2% strikeout rate there. 40% fly ball rate. 222 ISO against right-handed batters. However, he has been pitching really, really good his last couple of starts. Molly on the other side, 10.1K. 26.6% strikeout rate here. He's a reverse splits guy, so he's really struggling against right-handed batters. And I've struggled with this price. So 10.1K, it seems a little high for me. I don't like to pick on the Nationals. The Nationals don't really strike out a ton. For the Nationals, the best bats are the lefties here, Soto, Bell. So with Molly pitching well against lefties, I am off the Nationals. I am off Molly. I am off Rogers. Castellanos on the other side, 5.7K. You're paying up, but 294 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. Just overall, the Reds 27th in slugging percentage against left-handers this season. So I'm off them as well. I do really like Castellanos as a one-off though, if I have this salary, but we have a couple of really, really good spots on this slate coming up here. Oh, here's one of them. The Marlins taking on the Rays, Luzardo versus Baez. Luzardo, 6.5K, 21% strikeout rate here. Really high walk rate, 11.3%. He's young, giving up a ton of big power to right-handed batters, 280 ISO the righties have against him. So we love the righties here for the Rays. Boz on the other side, 7.5K here, making a second start. Big strikeout upside here. Will he go 5 innings pitched? I think I'm willing to take that chance at that salary. So I really have a lot of interest in him. I expect him to be popular. On the Marlins side, I think Sanchez is a decent one-off at 3.1K, 272 ISO against righties. Diaz 2-1 if you're really punting here at 220 ISO there. Right now, over the last 30 days, the Marlins are striking out a lot. So I really like Shane Baz here. On the other side, a Rosarina might be my favorite Rays bat. 246 ISO against left-handed pitching at 4K. Really in a nice spot. Zunino, crazy power against lefties. 539 ISO against them. I hope he's in this game. 4.1K feels a little bit too cheap for the situation. Luplow 2.7 lefty masher there. Franco back in the lineup at 5.7. I could see making the argument to fade Wander Franco because it's the second game back from his injury, but Cruz always in play against righties. Diaz, don't forget about him. He might be leading off at 3.5. So absolutely love the Rays here. They have to win. They don't necessarily have to win, but they're probably going to win. Love the Rays. Love the Rays. Next, we have the White Sox taking on the Indians. Giolito against McKenzie. Giolito 10-9 feels a little high. Don't really like attacking the Indians. I don't really like attacking the Indians all season long. I mean, they just don't strike out a ton, right? 28.6% strikeout rate, 41% fly ball rate, 223 ISO against right-handed batters. Giolito, not a guy I really want to attack, but does give up the home run once in a while. McKenzie at 9.2K, that feels a little pricey. The White Sox, just in general, not a team I'm trying to get after. McKenzie, 28% strikeout rate, 11% walk rate. He's just kind of a high variance guy. He does have really high ceiling games at times. 46.6% fly ball rate. So he's kind of just all over the place, giving up power to righties. As far as right-handed bats, there's 3 I really like: Grandal, Jimenez, Abreu. I think they're priced very appropriately. If I had to lean anywhere, maybe Jimenez at 3.9 because of the price. White Sox 4th in on-base percentage against right-handed pitching, 16th in home runs. So they kind of struggle a little bit with the power all season long here a little bit, but I think they're a fine, maybe mini stack or a 2-man stack or one-off, whatever you want. Indians on the other side, I like Reyes at 5.2 and Ramirez at 6K, but they're just so expensive. Like, there's other places to go. There's guys on the Blue Jays. There's guys on the Rays, much higher run implied total who are just in better spots. So I'm going to fade the Indians in this one. Next one here, the Mets and the Brewers. Carrasco taking on Peralta. Carrasco 7.1K. I just don't think he's going to go the distance. I'm not trying to pitch anyone against the Brewers right now. 22% strikeout rate here, giving up a lot of hard hit contact. I like the right-handed bats for the Brewers. Carrasco, 292 ISO against the righties. So on the other side, Peralta, probably my favorite pitcher on the slate, 9.6K. 34.5% strikeout rate here, massive strikeout upside, right? 46% fly ball rate, right? I don't like pitchers with a lot of fly balls, but like I said earlier, if he has a high, K rate, I'm in. 96 pitches his last game. That's very encouraging. I thought they were going to try to limit his pitch count, but clearly he got up there. So Mets, a team I don't really like to attack because they don't strike out a lot either, but Peralta, as far as like raw fantasy points go, I think he has the highest upside on the slate. So I think you could get there. I could see you, fading as well. But Adames 3.5K is my favorite value bat for the Brewers. I think he has some power upside. Really has been struggling as of late. Garcia at 4.4, 256 ISO against right-handed pitching over the last 30 days. It's not cheap. It's not pricey. I think it's just about right. I think he's in a good spot. Kane, if he's in the lineup at 3.2K, Escobar 4.1. I wouldn't mind getting a 2 or 3-man stack here. Garcia being my favorite bat for the Brewers. Next, we have the Blue Jays taking on the Twins. Manoah taking on Jax. Manoah 8.8K. I think the price is okay. 25.6% strikeout rate here, 9.7% walk rate, not fly ball rate. He's been doing a really good job of limiting power this season. I think he has some strikeout upside. Twins have been striking out a little bit more as of late. So I like Manoah here. He's not my favorite pitcher, but I am interested. Jax on the other side, 6.7K. Tough matchup for him against the Blue Jays. So I am out. 18% strikeout rate there. Gets hard hit quite a bit. Blue Jays bats for sure in play. Semien 4.9K. That is just really, really cheap. I expect him to get a lot of ownership. So one way to kind of leverage yourself against some of your opponents is maybe take another second baseman with a lot of upside, but it's a hard position to fill. So Semien, one of the best value bats on the slate. 284 ISO against righties. Springer at 4.6 looks good. Hernandez 4.3. Grishik, if he's in the lineup, 2.5K. Just as a punt, right? I prefer Grishik against left-handers anyways, but if he somehow is in the lineup at 2.5, that's really, really cheap for his, power upside, right? That's what we're kind of hoping for. Yes, I know Vlad is in play. He's definitely on there. Bichette, you can get there, sure. But I really want to highlight some of these other guys to get a little bit different, and their prices are pretty nice. On the other side, the Twins, I think the Twins are still a pretty decent team in my eyes as far as the offense goes. I just think the Blue Jays really, really need to win that game, and they really need a big game out of Manoah. So I just lean Blue Jays here in this one, fading the Twins. And then the last game we have to talk about, thank you for watching to this point. We have the Cardinals and the Cubs. Woodford taking on Thompson. Woodford 6.2K, 18% strikeout rate here, just giving up a decent amount of power to lefties, 223 ISO there. I don't like him. I don't like Thompson in this one. Thompson at 5.4K. Really tough matchup against the Cardinals. The Cardinals right now are on fire. I think they've won 600 games in a row. So 21.4% strikeout rate. A lot of walks, 12.6% of the time. Gives up a lot of hard contact, 48% of the time. Much worse against left-handed batters, right? Cardinals are in a good spot, even though they are mostly right-handed. But yeah, as far as bats go, Cardinals are just too cheap. 3.9K for O'Neill, Goldschmidt 3.8K, DeJong, 2 big games his last 2.7K. That's super cheap. Arenado 3.9, Bader 2.8. There's definitely ways to full stack this team if you really believe that they're going to be one of the higher scoring teams on the slate, and I believe that they can be. On the other side, Hap at 3.1 seems fine. 235 ISO against right-handed pitching this season. The Cardinals bullpen, I just think they're pretty decent. I wouldn't really want to attack them. And, Woodford could only go a couple innings, sure. But yeah, I'm off the Cubs. Really love the Cardinals bats here. So yeah, Cardinals, Rays, Jays all look really good here. We have some, decent spots in Milwaukee. So I think there's a lot of options here. I really like this 8-game slate. So enjoy it. Enjoy your NFL Sunday if you're watching football, building lineups, all that good stuff. So thank you very much. Best of luck to you today. Peace out. Make sure you subscribe.